Yo, it has been a year since the day. It's been a year since I cut my dreads. I feel like $1 trillion. Not a million, not a billion, but $1 trillion. I still feel like a whole new person. You know, like I went back to my sponge curls and I'm happy about that. And I've been making a lot of moves with my clothing line and everything, and also my YouTube. I'm really happy about that. I'm proud of myself. I literally remember the day, like a year ago today. It was at 11:51. I went to comb my dreads out for 50 seconds with a comb, and I was like, you know what? This is not gonna happen. So literally a minute later, I took the scissors that was right next to me, and I just started cutting my dreads, cutting the Shiva dreads. I feel so happy, man, that I went back. And you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I actually regret having dreadlocks. It just wasn't, the look wasn't for me, you know, if you know what I mean. Because I can say one thing, like, the reason why I got the dreads in the first place is because people were asking me. 2014, I was doing the sponge method on my hair. I had the sponge curls and everything, and people was asking me, yo, you gonna get dreadlocks? Because that's how it starts. You know, you grow your curls and you twist, and you know, the sponges, that's how a lot of people get dreads. So people was asking me, yo, you gonna get dreads? And I was like, I don't know. You gonna get dreads? I don't know. Oh, yo, you look dope with some dreads. I'm like, I don't know, I might. And then January 1st, 2015, I decided to get dreads. I started the sponge method October 27, 2014. When I was on a Thursday, I remember. And wow, it's been a year since I cut the Shiva dreads. Once I got that knowledge, 2 days later, I said, actually it was a day later when I was like, you know what? Well, actually it was 12 hours later when I said, you know what? I woke up the next day, that was that first day of the week, Sunday. I was like, you know what? I'm very motivated to cut my Shiva dreads, you know? I was really motivated to do it. Once I got that knowledge that it's not Israelite culture, and it goes back to the pagan god of Shiva with the dreadlocks, the blue god of Shiva with the long dreadlocks. That's what the East Indians worship, the Elamites. The Bible calls them the Elamites, so-called East Indians. And you know, we can't serve another god, and that hairstyle serves another god. A lot of people look at it as a fashion statement, but really that hairstyle serves another god. And us as Israelites, the first commandment, thou shalt have no other gods before me. That's the first commandment. So I'm just like, wow, it's been a year, man, and I've been going so hard on my YouTube and everything. It's going really good for me. And yo, check out the new merch too. Check out DynastyStyle.com. The merch, the new drop section. I got a lot of new stuff on there, and I'm just really happy that, like, you know, one thing about dreads too, it's like, you know, especially if you're living in a hot climate or something, like, it can be hard to wash your hair out. It can be hard, you know, when it's hot out, because it's all just dirt getting tangled up, you're sweating, you know, and dirt is getting tangled up in your hair. It's just not good. It's really not good. And the Most High God cares about the Israelites and their cleanliness. Being clean. The Most High God cares about how you take care of yourself physically, you know. And a lot of times I had build up from those Shiva dreadlocks, you know. Like, the only reason why I got them, I realize now, the only reason why I got them is because everybody kept asking me, yo, you gonna get dreads, you gonna get dreads, you gonna get dreads. And that's how it starts. That's how it starts, you know. And I was like, you know, okay, cool. My barber, Benoris, he said, yo, you a little dope with some dreads. I was like, alright, I'll do it. You know, kind of following the trend, you know, dreadlocks. So I remember 2014, everybody wanted dreadlocks. No, actually, especially 2015, everybody wanted dreadlocks, man. Everybody wanted them. Everybody, like in school, when I was in college, everybody wanted them, you know. But, I'm just really happy, like, just thinking about it, like, man, I like those 8 years of dreads. I kind of regret that because I look so much better without dreadlocks, you know? I look so much better, more handsome without dreadlocks, you know? I liked having long hair. You know, when I was like 2, I had braids in my hair, you know? And I had a lot going on in my hair when I had dreads, you know? For that last year I had dreads, that last year and a half that I had dreads, I was getting them retwisted every month. My hairdresser Tamika, she'd retwist my hair. The fastest she ever did it was like within an hour. But I'm telling you, I had like, her son counted my dreads. I had literally 94 dreads in my hair. It's ridiculous. I was like, that's why they took so long. I'm just like, this is just ridiculous. Like, sometimes it took a few hours, and one time I got retwisted and I had to come back and get the rest retwisted. And I was just like, oh man. But I feel like, you know, I don't have to do this. You know, so I got that knowledge about the dreadlocks. I don't need this. I shouldn't be doing it. I shouldn't have that dreadlock stuff in my hair. This is off limits. I shouldn't be doing it. This worships another god. Forget about this. Don't do this no more. You know, I was just happy too, man. I had 94 dreads in my hair. Some of them were Congo, and I was just like, man, this is just, it took some time, you know. But look at my hair now, the sponge curls. I went back to the sponge curls, you know, as you all know, you know, sponge curls, you know, sponge twist is like, kind of like almost like knots, almost like just twisting your hair, you know. The way I do it is I go for the sponge curls more. I like the curls more than the twist curls. It gives a more defining look. This one sister, she just told me, this Dominican sister, she just told me about 2 hours ago, she's like, I like your curls, they're really defined. And she had really defined curls too. That's one thing with me, I love Latinas that have sponge curly hair. I love it. Love it. Short or long, I love both. You know, that's how you got something in common with a woman, you know? I love Latinas, man. And I kind of beat myself about having dreads for 8 years, like really just having them. Just cause everybody was like, yo, you look dope with some dreads. And then on top of that too, I had that blonde in my hair. So, you know what I'm saying? I was following the trend because I saw Chris Brown do it. And I was like, you know what? If Chris Brown can pull it off, so can I. So, you know, I had the blonde going on in my hair. The bright blonde. I did that. First time I got my hair dyed in September 2017, and then a few months later, my boy's baby mama, she went and dyed my hair again, and I got the bright blonde highlights. I was all blonde. I don't know if you guys remember that, but I had a lot of spots. My hair was like blonded out. It was black and blonde. It was wild. Then like a month or two later, the blonde color got darker because I was out in the sun a lot, you know. But yeah, it's just 1 year since I cut my dreads, and I feel free. I feel clean. I feel more handsome. I feel better about myself, and that's just I guess it's just what it feels like, you know what I'm saying? Being an Israelite and knowing better, you know better, you do better. And I didn't even wait a few days. Literally 2 days I cut my dreads. I literally like said 12 hours later, Sunday morning, I want to cut my dreads. I'm so motivated to do it. And then the next day, Monday, I went to JB Expo, got me a sponge brush, and because I knew I was gonna go back to the sponge curls. I knew I was gonna do that. I told myself if I don't want dreads one day, I was gonna comb them out and get go back to my curly sponges. And I did that, you know. And the whole time when I had dreads, I literally wanted to go back to this sponge curls. I really wanted to go back to this so bad. I wanted to go back to it so bad. And I always had it in my mind. Always had it in my mind. I'm like, yo, man, I just want to go back to my sponge curl days, you know. And I'm back. I'm back like I never left, you know. Yeah, man, 2014, that was this October will be 11 years since I started that sponge method. Y'all, man, hit me up, man. Check out the website and hit me up on all social media platforms, TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter. You know it. Subscribe for more, man. And next, I'm going to Comic-Con tomorrow. It's gonna be lit. And that's one thing I love about this too. This was the same week I went to Comic-Con. The next day, no, 2-3 days later, I went to Comic-Con. Monday night, July 16th, I went to I cut my dreads, and then a few days later, I went to Comic-Con. I felt like a whole new person, and my hair was short again. I loved it, and going to Comic-Con the first time, I felt amazing. You know how my Israelite, black and gold Israelite garment on, my girdle, short hair, you know, I just felt like a whole new person, you know. I felt like a whole new man, you know. So I'm gonna show you guys a video of that next. Y'all subscribe, stay tuned.